Hi, I'm Victor Tiffany, the co-founder of Revolt Against Plutocracy, and this is a tutorial. I'm going to demonstrate how to recruit voters to take the CFAR voter pledge around the internet broadly, and more interestingly and more importantly, especially for those of us who have a CFAR candidate in a congressional district like I do, how to promote this within the confines of this congressional district. It's one of the more difficult things to do when you think about the internet. It's a wide open World Wide Web. So how do you narrow your promotional activities down to a particular congressional district? That's what I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what it is I'm doing, and I will explain as I go. So first thing we're going to do is share. And I want to get to this page. I will provide the link to this page. This is kind of your media center, your heartbeat of media across the United States. This is a website that lists, I wouldn't say all the media in the United States, but it arranges it by state and by the media, newspapers, television, radio, and so forth. So this is the home page. And it's a listing of state newspapers or category newspapers by state. So I'm going to go to New York. That's where I'm based. I'm in New York's 23rd Congressional District. So I used Wikipedia to make sure I understand the borders of this congressional district. You can see it here on the right. This is the confines. I have to make sure the city that I promote this thing in, or the newspaper, is in a city where I can, that's within this congressional district. And there are exceptions to that because we don't have major television outlets, so I'm going to have to use Rochester and Buffalo. I'll cover that when I get to that page. We're going to start, however, with newspapers. So I'm going to go down this list and try to find newspapers in this congressional district. Now, I don't know this entire congressional district. You can see how large it was there. So I'm just going to take an example, Ballston Spa. I'm going to highlight this with my mouse. I'm going to have a PC, so I'm going to Control C. If it's a Mac, you're going to Command C, and then you're going to come over here. I have MapQuest open. All right, so I have a city already from where I've been practicing doing this. I'm just going to highlight the city that's in place. Control V, again, a Mac would be Command V, and then hit Enter, and wait for MapQuest to find my city. Okay, Ballston Spa is up near Albany. Should be around here. Saratoga Springs is north of Albany. So this is way up north and east and not at all where I want to go. So I'm just going to take this back to Dundee and go back to our media page. If I can get this screen out of the way. Here we go. All right, I'm going to pick Dundee. All right, now I'm not going to actually click on the Dundee Observer, but I would highlight and paste that into MapQuest, which shows me it's here. All right, now is that in my congressional district? I have to back this out so I can see where it sits. This is a marker for me, this splitting the highway from 86 to 390 going up north, because I could see that on the Wikipedia page. If I bring this in a little closer, this map, there's that split right there, and I can see Dundee is in this congressional district. But I'm not going to waste your time clicking on Dundee. I went there yesterday. The Observer is a little tiny, it's a little tiny newspaper. They talk about athletes and criminals and the weather. It's just not worth taking our time. So I know Elmira is in this congressional district. And you're going to know what cities are in your congressional district. I showed you how to use MapQuest and compare it to the Wikipedia page for your congressional district so that you can find if you have a city on this list that's in your congressional district or not. First thing you need to make sure you find is your congressional district and know roughly the borders. Most people do. Some people sign up as a CFAR activist and they don't know what congressional district they're in. So the first thing you have to do is figure that out. Usually you can use Google to do that. So back to Elmira. I'm going to go to the Star Gazette. Now this is their website. C, I'm not sure what that stands for. F is their Facebook page. Twitter is their Twitter account. I wouldn't Twitter them directly. You don't want to necessarily get their attention while you're doing this. W is the weather page on their website. I wouldn't waste time with that. Let's just go to their website. From here, we're going to look for a story that has something to do with national politics. If we can find something that covers national politics. Local news, local, crash. Oh boy. Sometimes it takes a while to find something. May have to just get desperate here. As you get closer to your primary, it'll be easier to find stories about the primary in your state. But this is just to get you going for your, start building. We started building the Burn Your Bus pledge a year before primaries began in 2015. So you do want to get going and start this. I'm just going to have to find something just to give you an idea of what we're doing here. Please, a veteran. Oh boy, I hate local newspapers. This is how useless they are. Consumer outlet. There we go. Give us more or less a national story. Now what we're looking for are comments section. This is what we have right here. Comments. I get to this page. That didn't do anything. Here's another button for comments up here. My mouse is going to sleep for some reason. Here we go. Oh, good. An ad. Come on, mouse. Go away. Yeah. Now, answer the survey. I don't want to answer a survey. They want me to start a free trial. I don't want a free trial. Here's the conversation. I clicked on this over here to the left, and I'm able to get into comments. Now, what am I going to use for comments? You can see this is a Facebook interface here, what they're using on this website. So I can comment as myself. I can comment as Revolt Against Plutocracy, which I'm going to do. I have a information sheet set up. It looks like this. It's all ready to go with comments. So I don't have to keep typing the same thing over and over again. All right, I'm just going to reference, help turn New York 23rd District into one with a populist representation in DC. I'll come back to this link in a second. It's something I generated from tinyURL. I'm going to Control C. I'm going to Alt Tab back to, that might be Command Tab for a Mac, but you can see how to get from application to application. I want to go back to browser. I'm just going to Control V. Again, that would be Command V for a Mac. I'm going to post it. And there we go. Object initial invalid. Doesn't like that. Uh-oh. What happens if I post it as me? All right, it doesn't like that. So let's try something else. This is making it hard for me, isn't it? Try bringing this up again. Let's try a different, maybe it doesn't like the URL. tiny URL. So we'll just go with this one. Same thing, different statement. So I'll try pasting that in, post it as me, and there it goes. That time it took it. All right, so we'll get out of here, go back to our media site, and I'll show you what I'm posting. Okay, here's the news media site, the listing of the cities in New York City. We just posted to an Elmira newspaper. But what I just posted was this CFAR pledge for the 23rd district. Here we have a candidate, Rick Gallant. I interviewed him recently, and you can see that a link to that interview on our website. I will come back to that in a moment if I remember to before I'm done, but that's what I'm linking. And the tiny URL, that's something you can generate from that tiny URL page. You just enter your long URL here, type in what you want it to be instead of this long alphanumeric thing like what we had for Rick over here. Instead of, we replaced all of this with, well, you can see it here. CFAR New York 23 as a tiny URL. So, but I just wanted to show you this page. So if you want to create a tiny URL for your local district, you can do that. So I'm going to go back to the media website and just go one more direction because this is also useful. Let me go the same place, the Elmira Star-Gazette, only this time I'm going to go to their Facebook page. That's what F does for us. And loading nice and slowly. But this is their newspaper Facebook page. Oh, she's usually a national news story. No, that's not Amy Goodman. All right, yeah, that's kind of a story on racial matters. It's Eric Garner's daughter. So I'm just going to post something in here. Now I'll come back to my page. You can grab this. I know I can use the tiny URL here. So I'm going to copy that, flip back to the browser. I'm going to paste this, hit enter, done. So when we come along, they can click on this tiny URL and you can see that it goes to the, sure it does eventually, Citizens Against Plutocracy, Revolt Against Plutocracy website and the page for Rick's pledge form. I'm going to get rid of this. We're back on the Facebook page. I'm going to back arrow. I'm going to show you something else about the media website. If I get this thing to go backwards. There we go. So now, okay, I did go backwards far enough. Now I'm going to go from newspapers to television stations. So I want to make a point here. Some of you are in pretty rural districts. I'm in a pretty rural district. So we'll go back to New York. And what I find in my district, for my district, there's no Ithaca television station, right? There's no Jamestown television station. So we have to use the ones that broadcast into our district, and that would be Rochester has 3 television stations, and Syracuse also broadcast into our congressional district. So I'm just going to go to the Syracuse Central New York television station website and see if I can find a story. There's the state. Fortunately, most of these do cover local and state issues much more than national issues. Boy, not a lot of choices here. News stories. Anything here? Not really. I'm just going to pick one. You know, if you're out here, you want try to pick a political news story. This is probably as close as I'm going to get a state political news story, because you want to attract, you want to go where the political people might be listening or reading. Do we have ability to comment? Looks like it's video with no comment. So that was a complete waste. And sometimes that's what happens. However, we're not done. Go back to our website, media website, go to that same Syracuse station and flip on their Facebook page. And it'll be the last one I'll show for a congressional district, and then we'll go into national media and how to do it there. All right, so if you do something here, chances are people aren't going to see it because it gets shoved off to the side, and you don't even see those things listed. They used to be listed over here off to the side. You don't even see them listed anymore. So I wouldn't waste your time posting to them. Just try to find something that might be somewhat political. Hot chocolate, there's the state of the state story. So back here, we've already done my copy, so I'm just going to Control V and paste it in there like that. Now, there's something else you can do, which is get video into these Facebook comments. So instead of posting that, before I hit enter, I'm going to go back to my sheet here and just do a generic one, because you can do this. You can use this, like I said, with video. This is the entire thing here, like this. And it should give me my video. I'm going to copy that whole thing, flip back to the browser, paste it. Just going to do a backspace so I get rid of the extra line feed. See what happens. There it is. The video, this video of me explaining why take the pledge pops up. So somebody can just click on that, watch me, oops, got too far, talk about why take the pledge. I'm going to mute this because I don't want sound to come over what I'm saying. And then listen to that, and then they can click on this and go to the CFAR voter pledge. Again, this is something I made from tinyURL. I'm going to just flip back from here, back to our media website, and I'm going to show you the national. Right? This is if you don't have a CFAR candidate in your district and you just want to promote this thing nationally. This is the page you'll be promoting. This is that tinyURL came to this page. People can fill out the pledge form right from here. Right, so this is what you're promoting. It's on our website, our Citizens Against Plutocracy website. That's where the candidates go to download the contract, modify it to suit their purposes, sign it, and then register as a CFAR candidate on the home page. But this is a link off from the home page, and it's just where you can send voters to possibly, in this case, listen once again to me to explain why, and then to come down here and take this pledge. Now this database, this national database we're collecting, we are going to make available to everybody by congressional district. That's why if you look at, again, that database, I should have stayed on it, we're collecting, come on, congressional district information this time. Instead of just the state like we did before in 2016, now we want the congressional district so we can get this voter, the CFAR pledged voter, into your hands as a CFAR activist when we get near the primaries. And then you're going to be able to reach out to him or her and explain, or maybe share another tutorial of how they can reach out to their friends and relatives in their congressional district and encourage them to support your CFAR candidate. So we haven't worked out. That's a tutorial that hasn't been created yet, but we'll show people how to harvest their email accounts for local, statewide, and national email lists that they will use for the purposes of spreading the word about candidates and issues and so forth. We're building a national movement. That's what Bernie or Bust was, and that's what CFAR or else intends to be. So that's basically it here. You can spend some time playing around with this website. Again, I will provide a link to this below this video, so you can just click on it and find it. This is something I keep open all the time. You can go to radio stations. Let's just do this real quick, because most of these are a waste of time. Back to New York. If you go to radio stations, forget the music. You want to go to talk radio or to news. Right? Those are your choices, basically. News talk, talk radio, and news. Forget sports talk. Freeform, it's probably just different kind of music. So you don't need to worry about that. All right, so I'm just going to go back to the home page. Now, if you don't have a CFAR candidate, so you're just building up voter pledges all across the country, like we did for Bernie or Bust. It was a national campaign because Bernie was running for the White House. You can go to a national news site like TruthDig or Nation of Change, like this, and you can find a story like this, and because we've added a plank to our website, I thought these guys always had. This is just a pledge. So this doesn't have a comment section. So forget that story. And net neutrality is not one of our issues. And tax bill. I'm just looking for a news story that we can leave a comment on. Just come down here. I'm not even going to read it. Right? Don't take the time unless you're really interested. Don't take the time to read something. Oh, there's the comment section. Right? So this is what I'm after. Now I've got this set up, same as last time with video. I'm going to probably already had it under copied. I'm going to flip back to the browser. I'm going to paste, and you see the video comes up again. So I'm just going to get rid of this extra line feed with a backspace. I'm going to post it as my anonymous name, Ghost, and look what comes up. The tutorial of me explaining why people can take the pledge, or the voter pledge. And then they can take it here. I'm going to have to change that. You can see over here I have an arrow. That didn't work. So I'm just going to change that so that it shows up as an arrow on the websites. And that's basically it. You can show this video on TruthDig. Mother Jones doesn't show the videos like this, but it's a good website to build voter pledges. Not all the people who read Voter Jones are as neoliberal as the reporters at Mother Jones are. TruthDig is a good place. Nation of Change here, where I just posted that, is a good place to post comments. Again, get to the local newspapers in your congressional district. I showed you how to find your congressional district using Wikipedia. Told you how to find out if a city is in your congressional district using MapQuest. Again, you can just back this out and see where you are. And here's the Pennsylvania border. So this congressional district goes up something like this. Up to Geneva is a good city for me to promote in. And then down here, something out here like that. Again, you can see it on the Wikipedia page. Close that. Back to the media website. And then I'm going to turn off the share. And that's basically it. That's how you promote the CFAR voter pledge within the confines of a congressional district. Use your local media, Facebook pages, and websites. That's your best bet. And that media website is sort of home base for you. That's where you start and go from there. And then arrow back to get to that website and try another one. And just start working it. The more we have, the more leverage we have. Again, the more CFAR committed, pledged voters you have in a congressional district, the more people you're going to be able to reach out to promote your candidate, the CFAR candidate, and ask them to share that information with their friends and relatives as we get closer to the primaries. And broadly, the more leverage you have, right? Bernie or Bust wasn't a movement, wasn't even recognized by the media until we had 50,000 pledges. This time, we're hoping if we have enough candidates, we will encourage the media to pick up on this as an actual national news story and strategy. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, you can go to the tab on this. Let's just go to our Facebook page, Revolt Against Plutocracy. Leave a message if you have any questions about anything I said here, promoting the CFAR pledge, or even recruiting a Democrat, not a Democrat, recruiting a candidate to become a CFAR candidate. And there's a tutorial above on this page that explains how to approach those candidates. Thank you for listening, and good recruitment.